You're doing what Jesus did. You're doing what Jesus did. You're so happy. Today, I wanted to talk about fasting. You probably saw my short, my reel, wherever you're coming from. My name is Ryan. Eventually, this new channel is going to be called High Carb Regenerator. So my name is, Ryan at High Carb Regenerator. Welcome to my channel. And I wanted to talk about fasting. Now, fasting, it has been done. People will quote it. It's been done for ages and ages and ages. And we got to do it. Otherwise, we're not really humans. Or we got to do this because, paleos did it. They didn't have any more jars on the tree of paleo dust that they could put in their blenders. They didn't have any more of this stuff. They wanted the real reason I think that the fasting thing is coming around so hard these days is because people are on a lot of keto. They're on a lot of carnivore. They're on a lot of paleo diets because that's what's being pumped out into the mainstream media. When you go to the fast food restaurants, they got keto this. When you go to the grocery stores, they got keto this, keto that, keto everywhere, carnivore everywhere. And at some point, it doesn't work anymore. So what happens is when you go on keto, it initially works really good, really good. You go on keto, you probably lose like 5 pounds in your first couple days, right? Because what you're eating is toxic to the body. And what happens when you eat toxins to the body, it starts gathering all of the water, excess water. So carbohydrates, are stored in your muscles. It's 1 carbohydrate per 3 molecules of water. And that's how it's bonded. So they stay in the muscles like this. So you get the plump muscles, the pump basically is what people know. And you get that, but you don't get that anymore after a while. So what happens is you eat the meat, you eat the dairy, you eat the cheese, whatever. And it's so toxic to the body that the body starts leaching out all of its water to neutralize what you're eating. It also pulls minerals from your bones and teeth and everything to neutralize what you're eating. It's crazy. People don't look into this. So at some point, you're going to lose weight, right in the beginning. And everybody gets that euphoria, that heavenly euphoria. You're like, oh man, this is so great. Meanwhile, they can't sleep. They're on all of these, chemicals just to keep themselves going. But that euphoria is actually your body telling you, look, we need food. Go get food. We're going to give you this borrowed energy from your adrenals here to go get food. And people think that this is how they're supposed to be living. So they'll stay in this state, they'll stay here, permanently, right? But at some point, you're going to start getting fatter. And the reason I know this is because I did keto for 10 years. I know other people who did keto for about that same amount of time. We all suffered from the same exact things. So what happened is the keto industry's like, well, we can't have these fat people here anymore, they're supposed to lose fat. So we'll just tell them that Jesus fasted or Buddha fasted or Gandhi, they fasted. This is what we'll tell these people, Jesus did it. Just take your time, do your thing, start going out there and just start, fasting. Just start fasting. This is what you got to do. You got to fast. You can't have too much food anymore because you won't live long enough. So then I quote these studies. There's a study done on mice and rats. Last time I looked, that's not I don't go to a family gathering and there's mice and rats there unless you go to the hood or something like that. I don't know. They're not part of the family reunion, right? They might be eating the food that you got, but they're not part of the family reunion. But somehow, let's do a study on them because that's relevant to us. And people will start to believe this stuff. They'll believe it. Well, the rats lived longer. It must be the rats. And then there's another study based on that study where they proved that the reason that these rats were living longer is because they didn't have as much protein in their diet. If you were on a high carb, low fat, they actually had a longer life and they had a happier life. They don't talk about that though. They talk about the study that mice and rats lived longer because they weren't eating. So so they start quoting this stuff because they got to do something, right? They can't have a bunch of land whales and fat people and 600-pound Johnnies around promoting keto anymore. They got to have the doctors out there on steroids, the doctors out there on clenbuterol probably just to keep their eyes open. Because they're, you see it, they're like, oh, man, take this keto, You can see it on their face. It's terrible. It's hard to watch. You see this, right? And so these are the people promoting, to intermittent fast, like, oh, I stopped eating, yesterday at 8. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'll start eating at, what? Oh, I can't handle it. Oh, I started eating at 4 o'clock today, but I'll be done by 4:15 because I got to eat intermittent fast. This is how it goes, right? I could pop a slide in here of these people. They're lunatics. And so, but they're quoting, Jesus over here fasting to try to get you to get skinnier. And of course, if you starve yourself, you're going to lose weight. It's the way it is. Your body's going to start using the reserves that it has. It's going to start tanking your metabolism, so you barely need calories at all. And you're living on your body fat stores. And then you add a little bit more fat in there, a little bit more fat on that keto life for 15 minutes a day, not too much eating. And, it's just tanking that thyroid, taking all the supplements, looking crazy, and this is where they've got people now. And then they start quoting scripture, like somehow you're becoming more religious by doing this. You're killing yourself. You're living in euphoria. You can't sleep. Your hair's falling out. You smell terrible. You smell like ammonia. Your liver's shutting down. Your kidneys are shutting down. Your adrenals are shot, so you got to drink coffee. Your thyroid's gone, right? This is all happening. Your heart can't handle all that fat in it, so it's failing. But you're fasting. You're fasting. You're doing what Jesus did. You're doing what Jesus did. You're so happy, And like you saw on the reel, you never seen in like the scripture, like your book, the book of Mark. You never see that in there, like Jesus fasted for 40 days. It's Lent. He never went up to the people and said, all right, I know. I turned that water into wine. You all saw that, right? You all saw that. We drank a lot of that wine, all right? I got a little bit of a gut from that. So I'm going to go out to the desert for 40 days. You carry out my mission. I'm going to go lose this, well, let's call it wine gut. I'll be back, though. I'll be back. After I lose, because nobody's going to listen to me if I got a little bit of a gut here. So nobody's going to hear the message. They're just going to be staring at my gut. I have to go lose a little bit of weight. I'm going to go fast. All right. Sorry. I know I've only, been here 30 years, but, and I've only known you a couple months, but it's important to the mission. And he goes out and fasts for 40 days to lose weight, according to keto people. Had nothing to do with religious purposes or getting closer to God. Had nothing to do with it. He was on keto. He was drinking wine. The wine made him fat because of the sugar in it. And he had to fast. That's it. Gandhi, skinny as this pencil. He went up to, he had thousands of people following him because he was a pacifist and he had a really good message. He went up to them. I ate for the first time in like months yesterday. Got a little bit of indigestion, a little bit of a gut here. I'm going to go fast. I'm sorry. Got to do it. You don't see this, right? Buddha, same thing. I'm not going to keep beating that dead horse, but you don't see this. But they quote this. This is how they shell it out to you. No, here you go. Go fast. I know you're getting fat on keto. It's not the keto thing. It's you ate too much. I know we said that you could eat as much as you wanted to, but you ate too much. Sorry. Gonna have to pull that one back. We're gonna have to put you on a fast. Fast until you're skinny, and then come back to keto. That's what you should do. Maybe eat 15 minutes a day. In that 15-minute window, you can have as much fat as you want to, but just fast the rest of the day. And this is where people are getting this stuff. I know I'm like over-dramatizing things, but this is, I couldn't believe the live that I did Tuesday. It was Tuesday. I had that fasting break. It was on Tuesday that I did the live, and everybody was asking me about fasting. Everybody. This has to be where this is coming from. Or it's Lent and people are talking about fasting. People died a lot back in the 40 days of Lent. Back in the day, I think even still in the 1900s, people were doing the fast for 40, and there's a lot of people that died from that. So the church is like, probably not a great idea, probably not a good look. All right, just fast on Fridays. Just fast on Friday. You'll be fine. Fast on Fridays. And then people were dying. They're like, all right, stop eating beef on Fridays. You can have fish. That's what it is. Fish. Jesus was a fisherman. You can have fish. That's it. Nothing else. And the stupidity, it just keeps on going. This is why I was never really terribly into that part of Lent. I am into the, getting more in tune with yourself, right? I'm more in tune with it. I know a lot of the people who talk about getting skinny don't talk about that, but I am in like that camp. I am in the camp of like get more in tune with your body and know where you're coming from, but you need energy to do that. And I'm not a proponent of fasting. I think anytime people ask me about this again, I'm just going to point into this video because I'm just like, I'm baffled of all people. I can name like 5 or 6 other people that I've had on this channel, matter of fact, that are way better to go ask about this than me. I'm not going to do it, right? I already know what it does to your adrenals and your thyroid. And the point of my journey on this YouTube thing or Instagram or whatever it's on is to get the rest of the weight off and to help other people who have gotten a lot of weight on them to get that off. You are not going to do that healthfully by fasting yourself to death. The more weight you have, probably the more detrimental doing a fast is. I don't know. I'm not Goldhammer. I'm not running True North. I don't know that. But man, I mean, just you are screwing yourself up so bad. You are not, if you are not doing this for religious purposes, if you're not doing this to become more enlightened or whatever, you are doing a detriment to your body and it's just not good. It's not. Jesus knew that he was dying in a few months. He was checking out. You might not be doing that, right? You might be here for another 60 years. He was checking out. He knew it. So fasting wasn't not relevant to him. He was doing it to become more clean, even though I only showed him eating like a few times, to become more clean and to be able to go through what he had to go through. You're just fat. You're just overweight. Like the rest of us watching this video, you have nothing to do with his mission, right? You have nothing to do with Gandhi's mission. You have nothing to do with Buddha's mission or the Muslim thing, right? I don't know what their deal is. I don't know. I got no problems with the Muslims, but I don't know why they fast. It just, you have nothing to do with this. And if it is a religious thing, fine, do it. But don't call it a weight loss program. It's not a weight loss program. This juice fasting, I don't think is a very good idea either. If you're doing it to clean yourself out, fine, whatever. But it's not a weight loss program. None of this fasting is a weight loss program. It's not real. You're not going to live on that the rest of your life. And then people ask me why I don't do it. That's why. It's not relevant. And it's another thing like exercise. People ask me why I'm not exercising all the time. I did add 30 to 45 minutes of walking a day into my regime. I went for a bike ride today and I rebound on the Cellerciser, link down below. But I am not going to do something like I did in 2016 where I was riding all the time because I can't continue that, period. If I decide, on Sunday, in a couple days, that I'm, who knows, this will be posted on Sunday, I have no idea, but I might decide on Sunday, look, I just want to go for like 3 hours. I might just do that, but I don't want that to become, I got to do 3 hours every day, because it just isn't possible for me to do. So, and it's not possible for you to fast the rest of your life. It's not possible to, well, it could be. If you do it long enough, if you do it for like 40 days, you might peace out, and it was possible. But it was. I guess that in that case, that was a really good weight loss program. You lost everything. It's gone. It's gone. You're floating off in outer space or wherever you go, and your body weight is laying in a casket. So you did, in that manner, you did lose all the weight. You did. Congratulations, but if you want something sustainable, just stop asking me about fasting. I guess this is the point of this video. I'm tired of asking. This is my answer. This is my answer to the question that you ask all the time, that I see on the forums, or not forums, on Instagram. It's cold outside. I just did a bike ride. My throat is just like the thrashed. I see it everywhere. YouTube, Dr. Berg's talking about it. Ironically, Dr. Berg and Bernard look identical. So are they the same people? I don't know. But, it's just, you see this everywhere. Even McDougall finally made a video about how bad fasting, he said to do it for 72 hours just to see how bad it is for you, and then get back to reality. Your reality is you got yourself overweight with food. You're going to have to get yourself to a normal weight with food. And you can't be the same food. You can't eat the same food and get the same results or different results. So you're going to get the same result. And that is the answer to the question. Hopefully you liked the video. I probably will end up posting this on both channels. But at some point, I think I might move completely over to the other one. I don't know how this is going to go. Not the point of the video. I think I've said all I can say about this topic. I still am shocked. I guarantee if I do a live like tonight or something like that, I'm going to get asked about fasting. It's just like, it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. It's just so. I do blood tests. Do blood tests and go do yourself like a 10-day water fast, and then do blood tests after that, and just see how bad your blood test results are. It's just, if you're doing it for religious purposes, fine, but don't call it a weight loss program. And that's it. Like, subscribe, comments, questions, whatever down below. Share the video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.